When wholesaling houses, once you get an executed contract with a motivated seller, it's time to find a buyer. So on today's video, get ready to learn my favorite hack strategy. That's the fastest way to find a cash buyer for your deal coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Quickstart Kit with everything you need to flip your first house in 30 days or less. Download it now at myquickstartkit.com.
If you're new here to this channel, I'm Jerry Norton with FlippingMastery.com, and this channel is all about ways to help you make money wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss new videos. The mistake a lot of wholesalers and would-be wholesalers make is they think that they have to have a cash buyers list before they can start sourcing leads and making offers on properties. Now, I completely disagree. Build your cash buyer list as you go, but I believe you should put most of your focus on finding and securing good deals. The reality is, once you secure a contract with a motivated seller, you don't need a list of cash buyers in order to wholesale your deal. You simply need a cash buyer for your specific deal. So assuming you get a deal, I have a powerful hack strategy that will find you the perfect, ideal cash buyer for your deal in hand that has never not worked for me. Now we're gonna cut to a live training I did with a group of my elite mentoring students where I explain this technique. And if you'd like to learn how you can mentor and partner with me on deals, be sure to check out a free training with all of the details. Just go to fasttrackwithjerry.com. Okay, let's cut to the live training.
We'll build as we go, okay? Build as we go. So we're gonna build a list, but we're gonna start with no list if we have to, get a deal, find a buyer, and build as we go. Everybody clear on that? Mm-hmm. Do not wait to make offers until you have a cash buyer list. That's not how we're gonna do it. Okay, so if this is on market, I have a really powerful strategy. I talked a little bit about it yesterday that works. I've never had it not work. So let's say that this is your subject property. And this works as well if you found your lead off market too, but it's a great strategy for what I do. And then let's say that we go on the like Redfin or Zillow, and there's 3 different types of cash buyers that we can find. And let's stick with flippers for right now, fix and flippers. So fix and flip cash buyers. There's active flips. So we could do a search and we could say, oh look, there's a flip for sale for $350. Now, how do we know that that's a flip?
It's staged, it's renovated.
Right.
It's empty, no one.
It's vacant, renovated, and sometimes staged. When we see that, we're like, there's a flipper. It's that person who's selling that house. It's up for sale right now. They bought that property, they fixed it up, now they're selling it. We're 3 streets over. Why would they make a good cash buyer for our deal?
They're in their neighborhood.
They're in the neighborhood, they just did a deal. Might they be looking for their next deal? Yeah. Might they love to do another deal in the same neighborhood? This is your ideal buyer. If you could hand pick a buyer, it's this person. Okay, so we have our actives, they're for sale. What about our solds? So we change our search criteria. We say now, instead of looking at for sales, let's look at solds. Let's say that for solds, we find one here, one here, one here. And you know, this one sold for $360, this one sold for $340, this one sold for whatever, $345. But now they're not actives, they're solds. So that means this flipper bought a house, fixed it up, put it up for sale, and sold it and closed on it. Might he be looking for another deal right now?
Yeah.
For sure. So is that a good cash buyer?
Yes.
Definitely. And there's one more, and that is, so this would be solds on the flip side. And then the third one is sold when they bought it as is. So that means if they bought it as is and there's a comp for it, like let's say they bought this and they bought it for 100, what does that mean they're doing right now if they bought it a month ago? They're in the process of what? Rehabbing it. So they're rehabbing right now. It's not up for sale yet, it's not sold yet, but they're rehabbing it right now. Might they be thinking about their next deal? So see how there's 3 different levels where a flipper could be at in these stages. 3 different stages of a flip in your neighborhood. because here's our property. Now, if you can't find any in the neighborhood, what do? Start to open up your boundary lines until you start finding them. So I'll do this in an area, and usually I'll talk to about a dozen and I'll find a buyer. It takes about a dozen usually to find a buyer. And what's your fastest way to get to these cash buyers? Yes. Because these are on market. So that means they either bought it on market, it's active on market, or it's sold on market.
Are the agents reluctant to give you that information?
No. I used to offer to pay them. I don't offer to pay them a dime. Why would those agents be more than willing to talk to their cash buyer about your deal?
They're gonna make money.
They'll use them again the next.
That's right. They're bringing value to their cash buyer when they say, hey, I got a new deal for you. Check it out. They want that because that means they're going to get the relist.
Yeah.
It's repeat business for them. They're more than willing. And they know other cash buyers. So the conversation goes like this. Hey, so I'm calling you because I see that you flipped that house over here on Stanley. And I've got a property that's a couple streets away that your investor might be interested in. Would you be willing to ask them if they want to take a look at it? And they're going to go, yeah, no problem. I'll tell them about it. Give me the details. What's your number? You give them the details. And then you say to them, and if your investor isn't interested, do you know other investors that might be interested? And every time they're like, oh yeah, I know some other people. For sure, I'll tell them about it. They don't ask for money. They're more than willing to do that because they want the relist. That's what they're after. That make sense?
Yep.
This works so good, you guys. You do not need a cash buyer list. Now you could take it off market. Could you do the same thing? You got this contract off market. Could you do this same thing? Yeah. So it works. No matter where you get the lead, this is a great strategy for finding a cash buyer. And remember, we're just looking for a buyer for our contract we have right now. This isn't, I'm going to do this as a list building strategy. Now, what could you do then? Let's say that we're in a hurry right now. We got 7 days. So we talk to the agents, we find our buyer, and let's say it's this guy is our buyer. What could we do now with all these other leads that we've generated? What's that?
Save my contact.
We could add them to our list. Yeah. Now what you could do, since you got some time, could you skip trace these and not talk to the agent and just call up those cash buyers directly? Yeah, you could research who they are. You could find out. Now, while you were doing your one deal, you just added 15 new cash buyers to your list.
So yes, I need a haircut, I know, but to recap, find a deal first, then research and find the active flippers in the same neighborhood that buy, list, and sell their flips on market, and contact the agents that represent those flippers. That is literally the fastest and the easiest way to find a buyer. In fact, even when I have a list, I often will do this first before taking the deal to my cash buyer list. Now, if you plan on using this method to find a cash buyer for your next deal, leave a comment and say, thanks for sharing this awesome technique. Jerry, you are a flipping genius. And to help you get good at talking to cash buyers, be sure to get my cash buyer scripts for free. This will get cash buyers eager to look at your deals and join your list. Now, I'll put the free download link in the description box below for you. And finally, I want you to watch a video where I show you how to do this method using a real deal. Now, you'll get to hear me call agents and find a buyer. So watch that video right now. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. With over 550 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping. And I'll see you on the next video.